Now, I did the thing that you should never do, and I would never advise people to do. But I've done it because I'd like to think I understand what I can get along with. I bought a pair of these on a Friday and raced in them on the Saturday, a 50-mile race at the Pennine Barrier, and they were phenomenal. Now, I've always been into kit over the years during my time in the military, and sort of especially when I used to go fishing, and then now into running. So I'd always say I've got, like, I'm quite understanding of the things I like and how it feels, especially with shoes. I can usually put a shoe on straight out the box, and I know if I'm going to get on with that shoe. But I did get tricked recently. I put on the Prodigio Maxes here, and they didn't feel like that type of shoe. I was like, oh, I'm going to get on with these. Bit firm, bit stiff. But knowing the way La Sportiva works is with some of their older models, minus the Prodigio Pro, that they are the type of shoe, like an Innovate, where you do have to wear them in just a little bit, which is annoying because sometimes, you know, if the shoe doesn't feel right, you just want to send it back, let's say. And we've become quite accustomed to shoes just feeling great out of the box. Hoka and Solomon, for me, have done like the best job of that. Like, they just instant, put them on, go running in them, no issues, if you've got the sizing right and then the sort of shoe that suits your foot. So yeah, back to the race. I was listening to Conversational Pace, I think it is, and they were talking about this shoe. Like, North Face are obviously still a brand in my eyes, breaking onto the scene. They've got some great athletes. Josh Wade, British guy, and obviously Katie Schneid. There's probably other athletes who are good, but those are two that are off the top of my head. And this is a shoe they brought out a few years ago, sort of like to match, say, a Speedgoat. You know, that high stack, but can do everything type of shoe. It's not going to be the best in technical terrain, because usually when we think about technical terrain, you do need more of a specific shoe for that. But I found this shoe pretty good in that race, and I've worn it for other races, and I actually think this shoe can handle it quite well on technical terrain, because if we have a look, this is a wide shoe, and that's really handy here. This being this width is really handy, so when you're putting that foot placement as you're descending, it can handle that. And where it's got quite a high stack in the forefoot, you're not feeling sort of, you know, rocks and stuff for it. So yeah, wore this shoe, tried it on in the North Face shop in the Trafford Centre in Manchester, and I instantly knew that this would be a decent shoe. Funnily enough though, I actually went in there for the Endurus, and they didn't have it in stock. But I would have chosen the shoe regardless, because I have the Endurus, and I like that shoe, but I knew that this would be a better race day shoe, where I probably would have struggled with the Endurus just a little bit. The Endurus has quite a harsh rocker, so it's like that, and you can feel that, and it's a little bit firmer, and it's like less stack height, whereas this is the sort of shoe that suits me as a runner. Mid to back of the pack, going to be on my feet all day. And this has actually turned out to be one of my favourite big long day shoes, the Altamesa 500. What a shoe this is. It's been out for a few years. It's probably like been missed by the market, but also I think where it's North Face, people are still coming around to thinking, oh, you're actually a serious brand. You are a brand that can compete with these people. Very stable shoe. So when I think about that, and what I mean by that is, like, this is obviously wider than this bit, and that matters. So when your foot's in there, obviously it's not falling all over the place, like with some shoes where they definitely don't have this bit coming out further. So it's a very stable shoe, which really helped my sort of, I had an injury not so long ago, just a bit of a shin issue, and this shoe really helped with that. Didn't feel it in that race at all. So yeah, Altamesa 500. Foam's really good, it lasts. I recently wore this to the back end of a 100 miler, and I wish I started in this shoe just because of the width and just because I know how durable that foam is. So yeah, what a great shoe, what a big day shoe. They model it as a road to trail. I don't know if I think it's that. I think it's more trail, but can handle road very well. But it's a very soft shoe, very stable for a high stack soft shoe. And it's just a bit of a good all-rounder, really. So yeah, Altamesa 500. Let me know if you've worn this or you've heard about this, or is this a shoe that you've missed. I definitely think if you're someone that's not liking the direction like that Hoka are going in, so for me, I've got the Mafate 5s coming this week. I'm a massive fan of the Mafate 4s, but they were never wide enough. I've got the Stinsons, and I've tried the Speedgoat 6s, and what I found with Hoka, it seems like their shoes are getting a little bit firmer. So if you're someone that doesn't want that with your shoe, I would advise trying this shoe. North Face Altamesa 500. Yeah, let me know your thoughts.